Let's begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Ruskeydoo.
And I am Grey.
And Overwatch news is like buses. You don't get one for ages and two come along at once.
Two? You call this two?
That
this
makes no sense. Yeah, no, you're right. That's also news. Can't really, it's not a unit. A news. There's a news.
A news. Can I get a news, please?
Overwatch. Anyway, we've got tons. BlizzCon has just started, so there's a load of information drops from that. A load of stuff happened on the wind-up to BlizzCon as well, which I wasn't expecting. And it's resulted in a hell of a lot of stuff.
Yes, just a little bit. But first, before we get into any of that, I have to say I got a new 144 Hz monitor. If you're on the fence about getting one, get one. It's amazing.
Yep. I've been telling Grey this for ages, that like the difference between 60 and 144 is just a different world.
Yes. Oh, I've figured out how to set the overclock setting though, so I can put it up to 165 Hz. I'll be honest, the difference between the two, can't tell yet. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I think once you get to like 144, that's getting to the point where I wouldn't honestly know if it went higher. Or maybe I would. No, that's not true. Maybe I would. I apparently, like, you get diminishing returns, obviously. Yeah. But, like, you can tell the difference between 144 and 240 Hertz. But, like, obviously that's a bigger difference. Yeah. I think the difference between 144 and 165 is just not that great, so you're just going to struggle to tell. Yeah, but it's when like you're zipping around, like when you have to flip 180, that's when it's really going to be huge because you can just take in more information. It has made playing Genji even more pleasurable than I already found it. It's can entirely believe. Welcome to the world of high hertz monitors. Oh, it's so nice. So nice. So, on to real news. Not that it isn't real news that you got a new monitor, Grey. That's great. But nobody else cares. An awful lot of stuff has happened. What has happened, I hear you say? Well, there's been an update. There's a new hero. There's a new map. There's a new shot. There's a dev update on Overwatch esports. There's a load of stuff from the forums. The rest of the Overwatch League teams have been announced. Grey's going to give us a fashion critique on all Overwatch team costumes. Season 6 has ended. Season 7 begins. Didn't we have that last week? Maybe there's more information. There is a new Winston highlight intro on the Xbox stores, and Face It is hosting Season 3 of Overwatch EU Open Division. So, update. There was a mystery update on the regular servers, which I think it's safe to say now was the Overwatch World Cup advertising, just in game. Yeah, they've added kind of this gorgeous splash screen. Let's try that again. They've added this gorgeous splash screen, which includes advertising for watching the World Cup live with a big, live now watch button, which was only slightly annoying because it was there before the World Cup was actually live. Yeah, so like, it's live now. It's not live now. It's not live now. You tricked me. Why? Exactly. But I'm really glad that they're kind of advertising it in game. That's a big thing. Yeah, pushing the esports side just to casual players, that's kind of huge. Yes, absolutely. Like that's a really big push. So I really think that what's happened is they've reached a stage where they're comfortable with what they're putting out, and because we're about to start Overwatch League, they do have to be at that stage, but it means that they're ready to say to the world, okay, now you can come and watch us. Yeah, this is a product that it makes sense to watch it. And I think, in fact, yeah, with the new spectator stuff, in fact, we haven't talked about that because we got to watch the first few rounds of England versus Sweden in the World Cup just before we started recording, and although not perfect yet, the spectator options are a huge upgrade. Yeah, absolutely. It's a really big improvement, and I think it's going to make a world of difference for people. Yeah, do you want to talk more about that now? I think we have a whole dev video on it. We could just jump right into it. Let's save it for the dev video. Video. Right, we got through the regular update. Let's talk about the PTR update. This has some pretty exciting stuff in store for us. Anna's getting a damage boost from 60 to 70. Yep. And I think that I'm not certain that this is what she needs. What she needs is for Winston and D.Va to be weaker, because Anna just dies to dive. And I think you also need Mercy to be weaker, because Mercy just sort of shits on Anna in various ways right now, in terms of tempo and stuff. Although, like, taking out regular heroes in 3 shots,
That's pretty huge, right?
It's a big deal, but I'm not certain it's the biggest thing that was holding her back.
Yeah, the heals through barriers is horrendous, right? That's what...
Yeah, exactly. I mean, a whole set of things happened all at once that kind of pushed Ana out of the meta. One of which was kind of Winston's bubble becoming a lot stronger. Another one was Roadhog really getting nerfed, which meant that you didn't have someone who could, stick with Ana if you were getting dived a lot, and you also didn't have someone who kind of could have that huge amount of healing to build quick ults off.
Roadhog's back in the meta now, so...
He is back in the meta, and Ana is more playable because of it, but Mercy's just so dominant that you don't want an Ana when you could have a Mercy.
But let's talk about what's happened to Mercy. And this is kind of interesting, because they are nerfing Res, but in a way that I didn't see coming.
Yes, so what they've done is they've increased the cast time from 0 seconds, which means that it's instant, to 1.75 seconds. So for nearly 2 seconds, the cast doesn't actually go off. And that means it can now be interrupted when Mercy is knocked back, stunned, hacked, or presumably killed.
So if someone dies out of position, you can't just jump in and go for those crazy reses because you'll get shot. And more than that, Mercy's movement speed is reduced by 75% while... doing it.
Yes. So the upshot of this is that performing a res takes 2 seconds away from healing your team and it makes it so that if someone's just completely out of position and dies, you can't just go and res them. And it means that it's a lot more punishing to dying out of position compared to now, where if you die out of position, Mercy comes, reses you, and they get back really quickly, and kind of it doesn't count as a pick, essentially.
Yeah. One criticism of this is that although it might be balanced and we have yet to see it go live, then we can work out whether it's balanced. But that aside, it feels bad. Like you're flying in, you hit the thing and you're suddenly in molasses. You're like, I can't move. And it doesn't feel dynamic.
No, I know what you mean. It makes that moment of doing a cool thing suddenly very static and slow and, undynamic.
Yeah.
I agree, but Mercy's making the game feel a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, although, I mean, here's the other argument that has been put around, which is that having Mercy in the meta, although not perfect, like that you need a Mercy on your team, is opening up a load of other characters. Because if you want a Bastion, like, it's not just your Bastion instantly gets taken out and there's nothing left. It's like you can res the Bastion, and brittle compositions actually have a bit of flex in them now. We'll see. We'll see.
My problem with it is it just makes the first pick not count. And having that first pick not count is actually... I think it makes... team fight so much.
Yeah, I think no one's going to argue that the current state of Mercy is great, but there may be upsides to it that we're going to miss.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. I do think that outside of Mercy, I think we are in one of the best states of Overwatch.
Yeah, and that's going to go away once Mercy goes.
It might do, possibly. I'm hoping not, but we'll see.
Right, let's leave speculation for now. Once that goes live or doesn't go live, then yeah.
Yeah.
Next, new hero, Moira.
Yes. Is it Moira or Mara?
I thought it was Moira.
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it's Moira. Who knows?
Cool.
We got a video about her, which... and then we've got, the page is up on playoverwatch.com, where you can actually have a good idea of her powers.
Yes. I mean, the videos introducing heroes are pretty much always like that, where you're just like, But it kind of introduces her character as much as it does who she, what she actually does.
Yeah, she's a Talon geneticist.
Yes. The cool thing is that we finally got a support who's actually evil, because she is a support character.
Yep.
She does healing as well as damage. What I found interesting is that they've styled a lot of what she does similarly to Zenyatta, in terms of having this
light and dark.
This light and dark thing going on. Do we want to just jump into her abilities? Is that where we start?
Yeah, sure. Let's do it.
Okay. So her primary fire is Biotic Grasp. So using her left hand, which is obviously left click, Moira expends biotic energy to heal allies in front of her. Using her right hand, fires a long-range beam weapon that saps enemies' health, healing Moira and replenishing her biotic energy. So what I'm assuming this is going to mean is that there's going to be this this sort of balance with Moira to kind of going in
damage to heal. And then,
exactly.
Yeah.
Which is going to make her very dynamic. But I worry that it's going to make her also like the thing about
Zenyatta curse, where you get a healer on your team who has no interest in healing the team.
Well, no, not just that, but actually it's going to make, like, when you need those heals, like, if she doesn't have the heals, like, she's got to, I don't know, it's going to be very strange.
Yeah, it's going to, okay, so it seems like we're going to have another mechanic similar to what Zarya has, where a Zarya fresh out of spawn is not good compared to a Zarya who's been on the field for a bit.
No, I think she's going to spawn with full biotic energy.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's going to be like a resource meter which you deplete, and then you have to fill back up again.
Okay, maybe. Second ability, Biotic Orb. Again, she can do a light one or a dark one. They bounce around. The light one heals stuff within a certain range, and the dark one damages.
Yes. Pretty cool.
Then she's got Fade, where she teleports a short distance. And then Coalescence, her ult, which is like a big old beam that damages people and heals people.
Yes, and it goes through shields, which is the big thing.
Yes. Now I'm going to talk about all of these abilities in comparison to other heroes' abilities.
I think
Biotic Grasp. It's Symmetra's beam, except it can heal and do damage.
Okay. No,
Right.
I think it's more like Zarya's beam. I don't think it latches on.
Okay, sure, like Zarya's beam. But then we got the Biotic Orb, which, again, hella similar to Symmetra's Orb, except this one bounces. Fade, it's basically Reaper's teleport.
No, it's more like Tracer's Blink.
Okay, but, I mean, what I'm saying here is there's no new mechanics. It feels similar to the feeling I got from Orisa, where you look at Orisa's package and you're like, this doesn't have anything of its own. It's like side grades, but it's not. There's nothing here that I'm like, oh my god, no other character does anything like that.
Okay, well, I think that Moira's going to kind of become her own thing, is that she's going to have a very different rhythm to any other hero.
Yes.
Like, and I think that that's what's going to be interesting about her, about having this weird balance where you have to switch between supporting and damaging, like, a lot of the time, and the decision making between what you're doing at what time and how you manage those resources. Like, because when it comes to hit scan character, there's only a certain amount that you could do to make a hit scan character different from another hit scan character.
Yeah.
And I think, eventually you do run out of things of, okay, we're now going to heal you by, you have to face a wall and jump off it into that person.
Yeah, you can put whatever mechanics you like on it, but yeah.
Exactly. Eventually you kind of run out of these mechanics. What I think's what they're doing is they're playing with how the entirety of the hero plays in terms of making different rhythms, like, because you do have the Zenyatta who is just very straight up, you sit somewhere, shoot people, have a Discord out, have a harmony out, and that's kind of it. Then you've got the Lucio who switched between speed and between healing. You've got the Mercy who's just very straight healing. Then you've got Anna who is much more switching, but in a lot of ways I find Anna's the closest to Moira. Because you've got that switch between dealing damage and doing healing. But with Moira, like with Anna, you could just heal if necessary for extended periods of time. Whereas with Moira, you're not going to be able to do that.
Here's another thing that I'm a bit wary of is I don't like characters with stuff bouncing off the wall mechanics.
Yes, because
they're janky. I don't mean that like they don't actually work, perfectly. Like they bounce off the geometry, but they don't bounce off bump maps. So if you actually want to, know how stuff's going to bounce off the walls, if the wall has a bump map on, then that is information which is bad for you. And I don't like any game that forces you to like tone down your graphics if you actually want to know what's going on. And also they make this kind of, it's not out of your control, but it's so fine and detailed that it might as well be out of your control. Like sometimes the orb will be shot into a corner with a load of stuff. Sometimes it'll bounce back right. Sometimes it won't. And it's just a bit random.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it so that you can kind of do cool stuff in terms of bouncing something in a particular place to continue that healing for a little while longer on a particular hero, or damage or whatever, but it just feels like it's probably going to be a little bit random and it's going to kind of suck.
Yeah, but hey-ho.
Honestly, I think that if that's like what ends up being our biggest criticism long term, I think they've done a good job.
Yeah, then it's not that bad. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I was hoping for like new, crazy, original mechanics. And
yes.
I think this is going to be something a bit more subtle.
I think it's very much going to, because I thought that Anna was just sounded kind of boring when they first introduced her. Just someone who's like, yeah, it's a sniper who can shoot teammates to heal them up.
Yeah.
I did not find that exciting, but I find Anna very satisfying to play.
Yes.
I'm hoping that Moira is going to be in that category of, okay, may not seem super excited in terms of abilities, but provides a fresh gameplay experience for supports.
Yes. And hey, just more supports. Perfect. Do that.
Exactly. Good.
Okay,
Cool.
So next up, new map.
Blizzard World.
Now, this sounds awful. We're not talking like another Heroes of the Storm like mashup of a load of crazy stuff. What this is in the world of Overwatch, Blizzard have a theme park containing rides and content from their other games.
I was so confused when they first went in the opening screen.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's exactly... It's a theme park which is Blizzard themed with World of Warcraft, with Hearthstone, with StarCraft. I assume there's Diablo in there, but I didn't see Diablo. Oh no, there is Diablo because of the church.
Castle. Yeah.
So I'm wondering how on earth it's actually going to work out as a map, because it doesn't look like it looks huge. But I don't know whether it's actually going to be huge.
I suspect a lot of the stuff is like off to the side and not actually involved in the combat. But
yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, you've got stuff like Junkertown has a lot of stuff in there and a lot of different areas.
It's true. It's true. It looks cool. I'm excited to play on another map. I think new maps are great in terms of adding content to the game and making them just continuing to make the game a fresh, fun experience.
Yeah. And I like the kind of meta thing. Like, it's again what they've got going on with D.Va, that she's a StarCraft pro. That's kind of nuts, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That whole, yeah, it's kind of like breaking down the fourth wall, and yeah, I quite like that.
Yeah, agreed. But there's not much else to say right now in a lot of ways.
It's a hybrid.
Because...
So you're going to have to cap a point and then push a cart. Boom. There we go.
There we go. Cool.
Okay, good. Next up, there's a new short.
Yes.
It's a Reinhardt short.
It is.
It has, well, it starts with, in fact, should we do spoilers or should we? Yeah, this is going to be spoilers, obviously.
You got to do spoilers. If you haven't watched it, press pause, go to the Play Overwatch YouTube, watch it, come back. Thank you.
It's the point of Reinhardt's heard the call up from Winston to reactivate Overwatch. He's in a bar with his mechanic buddy, and yeah. Then they go to like the flashback of Reinhardt, how he became a part of Overwatch, and yeah.
Yeah.
Is that it? That's about it. Well, there's more to it.
Well, yeah, there's the storyline of how Eichenwald fell.
Yeah. We kind of know that already, though. Oh, I guess we don't know that Reinhardt was such a dick when he was young.
I think that was kind of implied. Like, he's this slightly Playboy-esque figure in his youth who's carves his name into bars. Like, all the elements of him being a dick who kind of had this transformative moment of, oh, by overextending I put people in danger and therefore, it's also classic. What I do like about this, what I really like about this, is it shows Reinhardt how a lot of people play Reinhardt.
What, just like charging and he's like, God fucking damn it. Just come back and actually guard your people.
Reinhardt, go protect your team. No, I'm doing so much work over here swinging my hammer.
Yeah. Interestingly, there's 2 potential new Reinhardt skins.
Oh, yes. There's a young Reinhardt.
Young Reinhardt. And there's also the kind of third background Crusader who appears to be a woman, but when she's got a helmet on, you can't tell. And it's kind of like a chunky kind of, like, very nondescript, kind of quite plain Crusader thing going on.
It was a lot more of a sort of, it looked more like battle armor rather than fantasy armor.
Yeah, entirely.
Yeah.
which I don't mind. So if we got those two as extra skins, I would be very, very happy.
Reinhardt's already got a lot of good skins. I can totally see young Reinhardt being put in and just being amazing as well.
Almost definitely. I mean, that they put that much design into it, I would be very surprised if that didn't appear in game.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want a Baldric head as well.
Just the head?
Well, I mean, you know, you've got Baldric's head. If you could have that on Reinhardt's body in that armor, that'd be pretty sweet.
Oh, I see what you mean. Like, so you could wear the Baldric armor and have Baldric, like, with the helmet off style.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean now.
Now,
I was just thinking of Baldric
you.
head.
So, right. You know Reinhardt's assistant?
Yes.
She says something like, her dad said you've like fought for so long or something.
Yes.
And she's got the same tat as Torbjorn on her shoulder.
I did not notice that.
Is she Torbjorn's kid?
Oh, that would be interesting.
I don't know.
Oh, she totally does have the exact same thing on her shoulder.
Like, maybe that's just like it's an engineer thing. Like it's like some engineer corp or something. But
maybe.
Like, she talks about her dad. We know that Torbjorn has bred a lot from that Christmas comic from a while back.
Yep.
So maybe.
I can see it.
Yeah, who knows? Aside from that, you see how the armor got into Eichenwald, and it's all moody and emotional and stuff. You should watch it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this one, actually.
Yeah?
I mean, I can only really give first impressions. Like, I've watched it twice, because it came out literally just before we started recording. But yeah, I really liked it. But maybe I'm biased just because it had Reinhardt stuff going on.
I think that what this had is it had a very cohesive storyline, which explored a character's backstory. And whilst I feel like I knew that about Reinhardt, it portrayed Reinhardt as I expected him to be in his youth, being very headstrong, charging in, doing, really wanting to kind of get into battle and fight. He's kind of like, he is a young Reinhardt, very, very headstrong and naive.
And in fact, in that short period, we get to see young Reinhardt. We also get to see character progression because this stuff happens and he realizes he has to be a defender and not just this kind of like, gung-ho.
Exactly.
person. Yeah.
We see that character development. And in that's something that a lot of the shorts are missing.
Yeah. This actually had, a good story arc, and it was actually quite tight. It was like, okay, cool, yeah.
Oh, there was just no fluff either.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of them, you contain, like, a couple of minutes of fluff here and there. That you're just like, you could have edited this to be tighter. And it didn't have Reinhardt constructing a hammer out of bits of wall that he found lying around in order to climb something. It's just like, it made sense. Of course he had a hammer. It's part of the Crusader kit. It's just who he is. It all makes sense, which is just
there's no extraneous guff. Exactly. Okay, so yeah, we like it. Next, dev update on Overwatch esports.
Oh, yeah. Kind of almost forgot about this. But yes, this is where Jeff Kaplan talks all about the stuff that we're now seeing at the Overwatch World Cup, where he talks about all the new spectator features and some of the features that are also going on behind the scenes for the casters to use to make their lives easier.
Map.
Yes, one of which is a top-down map.
Which just really helps you see what the hell is going on in general. I presume they have that on another monitor so they can just at all times keep an eye on where characters are. Awesome.
Yes. I think it's very much a good thing. I think the really big thing that's good for most spectators is the new skin and effect system, essentially. Yes.
So the problem that I always had with watching Overwatch was they'd be randomly assigned a blue team and a red team. When you're actually playing the game, you're always on the blue team. But then, wait, are you always on the blue team?
You are always on the blue team.
I had to think about that for a second. So, like, having the one team being the red team and the blue, I found it really disorientating. What they've done now is, each team, they have their own kind of color palette, which is just applied to all the basic hero skins.
Yes. And so that means that, it's not just applied to the hero skins, but also applied to all the particle effects. Yes. So when a tracer is shooting, you got a red tracer versus a blue tracer, a green tracer versus a yellow tracer. You get the green bullets versus the yellow bullets and stuff like that.
Yes. So yeah, it just makes the whole experience much easier to tell what the hell is going on.
Absolutely. It's a huge upgrade. Huge.
Although, as a disclaimer, I'd say it's still not perfect. It's still a bit like, what is going on?
Yeah,
Such as England versus Sweden. Like England was in their away kit, which is just white, and Sweden was in their kit, which is basically light blue. But then there was loads of white bits in the Sweden overlay, and I didn't find it super obvious.
Yes. I think they do need to have these much stronger contrasts between the two teams. And I think that they wanted to have everything be really bright. And actually, we're going to need some stuff. We're going to need dark versus light, essentially. Or we need something that contrasts the two somehow.
Yeah.
It's also worth mentioning that every team has an away kit, which is a light variant of their kit. So it's essentially like... It is meant to be kind of dark versus light, but if two colours are too similar, so for example, Sweden and France may both
presume if one team has like a red kit and one team has a blue kit, you don't force one team into the away kit, do you?
I assume not, but we've not actually found out yet.
Yeah.
But but it just means that if two teams have similar colours, the away, one team will wear the away kit, but it will still be themed after their primary colour palette.
Yeah. And in the World Cup, the problem has been all of the teams have red, white, and blue in their flags, essentially.
Because everyone has red, white, and blue in their flags. Surprise!
Yeah. Awkward. Oh well.
Yeah. They've also integrated an instant replay system. Now, they kind of were doing this in a janky way where they were watching everybody's screens all at once. And they were using, they were just recording it and then cutting out bits of recording. Now they have a proper inbuilt replay system where they can say, that moment, I want to watch it from Genji's perspective. And it's much easier to kind of do that properly.
The way he describes it is basically the kill feed. If they want to see an event that happened, you hit the kill feed icon and it shows you what happened in that kill.
Yes.
Which is kind of neat again.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Then there's a load of third-person camera smoothing as well.
Oh, yes. I'm not certain about this. I think it's probably good for third-person stuff, but I don't think third-person is the way that I want to watch Overwatch a lot of the time.
Did you notice it in the Sweden versus England match?
Yes.
You did notice it?
Yes.
Okay, because I found it. I didn't notice it. And that's what you want. You want it to be like when you go to third person, you see some third person stuff, you don't instantly go, oh my God, what is this? It looks awful. As long as it looks fine and I don't notice it, I'm happy.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I've found this ever since I started watching competitive TF2. Third person mode to me just looks janky.
I guess it doesn't tell you what's going on in the same way.
Yeah, the cool stuff that I want to watch is people doing cool stuff first person mode, because that's how I play the game. That's how I relate to the game. There are times where third person is useful, but it's very, very short periods of time, Yeah. A lot of that is when you're waiting for the push, and so you want to give wider context to it, to what someone's doing. But for the most part, I want to watch first person.
Yeah, I guess it's another way of telling a story with the action, right? So the more tools you have for that, the better. I guess we'll see if the production teams do good stuff with third person. And I'm sure that if they're a bit this isn't so great, then it'll, slowly phase out.
Absolutely. I imagine the production team will figure it out.
Next, forum stuff, because there's been a lot of forum stuff.
Oh.
Jeff had one massive post where he replied to multiple different questions at multiple different times in it. And that was kind of cool.
Wait, anyway, which one was this? Was this the Genji's Not a Problem one?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes. Same one. It's so someone started with, when is Genji nerfed? And Jeff answered, we talk about all of the heroes all the time. Genji is not currently on our radar as being a balance problem. And then as this post goes on, Jeff replies multiple times to different comments about balance, and it becomes a general talk about balance.
Oh, yes. Okay, I did follow this. It's just that I thought when you said post, I thought literally just one long post where he wrote everything.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. It's all in someone else's post that Jeff replies to multiple times.
Yes. So he identifies that Genji is not currently considered to be a problem, and they do have Mercy on their radar as being a problem. They like the direction, and they've got some changes, which we can now see on the PTR. I think one of the most interesting things that I took away from this is how they feel that healing is Mercy's most core characteristic, mobility second, and not res. So, like, it sounds like, if necessary, if absolutely necessary, they would be willing to consider throwing away res because it's the style of healing that Mercy does they find to be her core mechanic, which I think is very encouraging. Because I think it's one of those things that if it just continues to be a problem, and they say, right, we have to do something about this because either Mercy is completely unplayable because we have to make her super weak so that res isn't that strong, or we end up in a state where where she's just too strong, she's overpowered, which is essentially how Mercy has been since the beginning. She's either overly weak or she's overly strong. Like, they're willing to kind of consider moving the res. That's how I understood this.
Yeah. So, I mean, other things they talk about in here, they talk about Genji's Reflect being a little awkward because it's so much bigger than the animation. But they're saying, we've tried it different ways. This is the best we got so far, and it seems okay. Basically what I get from this is, like, they're like, yeah, sure, it's not perfect, but there's other stuff to focus on first. Similar thing with Hanzo. They talk about Hanzo's scatter arrow being problematic. It doesn't feel good to be shot by it. But if they took away Hanzo's scatter arrow, Hanzo would actually just be terrible right now. So what do you do about that, right?
Yeah. I've advocated for some sort of explosive shot for a while.
One idea that I've heard bandied around by a few people is give him a load of utility arrows. I think an explosive arrow, it kind of does what a scatter arrow does, but will feel a bit better, but it's boring. It's really dull. Like, think about it.
It is really dull, but I just think that if you gave him that arrow and people are like, oh, it's an explosive arrow that does a load of damage when it hits and explodes. I know what you mean. It is really,
it's the
really
thing
boring.
that we talked about on previous balances before, where you can't just, once you need to balance a hero, make them a little bit more like Soldier 76, El Generico.
That's very true, actually. No, that's a good point.
So, yeah. Who knows? Like, maybe there could be, like, I mean, any other kind of weird types of, utility you could give to Hanzo.
The problem isn't that it isn't the utility. The problem is that scatter is by far and away the most it's the most consistent damage that Hanzo has.
Yeah.
And
the fact that we're saying it's the most consistent damage when the scatter arrows are in themselves really inconsistent because they bounce all over the shop and sometimes hit people, sometimes don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's the classic problem of having a projectile class with a relatively, I say relatively, but when you compare it with a rocket, it has a relatively tight area that it does damage. I know that people talk about the hitbox of the arrows being large, but compared to a rocket, it's tiny.
Again, though, oh god, with Hanzo's arrows, just put mini dragons going around the regular arrows and no one will complain about the fucking hitbox. It's that simple, Blizzard. You just need to put a fucking particle effect on it and no one will give a crap.
Most people aren't worried about the size of the hitbox anymore. It's not the primary complaint.
It went really small. It's like, it's proper, it's good now, and I get that, but as a balance factor, if you need to like make his hitbox a bit more forgiving, just use a particle effect. Oh god, that's simple. Anyway, maybe there's a really good reason they haven't. So yeah, that's stuff in the forums. Should we talk about the Overwatch League teams now?
Yeah, I think that's the next thing on the list. So that's what we do.
Go through the list, Grey. Who have we got now? So
we now have the New York Excelsior, the Seoul Dynasty. Seoul? Seoul?
Seoul.
So I just really overpronounced that, didn't I? The Seoul Dynasty, the Houston Outlaws, the London Spitfire, Philadelphia Fusion, the Los Angeles Gladiators, which is the second LA team, because there's also Los Angeles Valiant, and Florida Mayhem.
Valium.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, that means we now know all 12 of the starting teams for Overwatch.
Yep,
that's it.
And we know how they look. It's all kind of schwank and stuff. Now, okay, stuff that I would talk about. Now we can see them all. We can go through them. We can like look at them a whole. And you've got your whole fashion thing as well.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to get... I don't want to spend too long on this, but there are some where I clearly think they've done a really good job, and there are some where I'm just like, nah. You know?
But before we get into that, here in England, Philadelphia is a brand of cream cheese. So Philadelphia Fusion, to me, sounds like they've got cream cheese with, I don't know, bacon bits added or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Another weird one is, like, it's London Spitfire, not pluralized.
Yes. That, I keep catching myself on that. It feels like it should be the Spitfires, but I've noticed that none of them are pluralized. Except for dragons.
Gladiators.
Oh, yeah,
Outlaws.
no, you're right.
Loads of them are pluralized. What are you saying?
You know what? I take it all back. I'm an idiot. Yeah, why isn't Spitfires pluralized then?
Well, it's not Spitfires, it's Spitfire.
Yeah, but why?
I don't know. Like, maybe if they're coming from the Prodigy song called Spitfire, then I'm down with that. They are the London Spitfire. But, yeah, it's a little odd, I'll give you.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say?
Boston Uprising has an ugly logo.
Oh, yeah, it just looks like a paperclip.
Yes.
Or a bookmark.
Yes. I really like the Outlaws logo. The cow skull made out of 2 pistols.
It's very cute.
That's kind of neat.
Very cute.
Excelsior's logo is a bit like one of those visual things. It makes my eye go a bit bibbly. I don't like it.
Okay, yep, fair enough.
Yep, you see what I'm saying?
Yep, I see what you're saying.
Oh, there's too many lines in. It's doing that thing where some areas go light and some go dark.
I think the palm tree on the Florida Mayhem is quite cute because it's the palm tree being kind of iconic to Florida.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Love that logo.
Yep, agreed. I think that the Shock logo having the shock waves, which is like the Golden Bridge, is a nice idea, poorly executed because you just can't see it.
Yep. Still sounds like, a shocker or something.
Yeah.
Especially with Doomfist holding his hand. No, anyway. Valiant still sounds like Valium. Gladiators, sure. Don't really know what that's got to do with LA. I mean, there's LA and Gladiators, as you can see picked out in the purple.
Yeah, but what does Fusion have to do with Philadelphia?
Sorry, I'm just thinking cream cheese again.
I know.
I can't. Like, that is just the strongest connotation of Philadelphia in my mind, apart from that old Tom Hanks film.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Yeah, probably shouldn't. It's not a happy film.
No, I've not seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, let's just... Soul Dynasty, that seems like properly getting ahead of themselves.
I'm kind of interested that it's Soul who have the dynasty, because I tend to think of, when it comes to dynasties, I say dynasty, actually, I think. I'm not certain.
Oh, maybe it is dynasty.
Yeah. When it comes to dynasties...
Dynasty!
When it comes to dynasties, I think of China.
Yeah, totally. But maybe that's like just us being culturally unaware, right?
Maybe.
Huh. Who knows?
Yeah. Anyway, in terms of... Are there any of these skins that particularly are just like that one?
I think they have a good spread. I like that in terms of colours. Like, they have the entire spectrum. None of them particularly blow my mind. The Soul Dynasty with the black and gold is kind of schwanky.
Yeah, I'd say that the Soul Dynasty, and I actually think the London Spitfire is very nice. I think the blue is a very nice blue, especially because it has this really nice fade that kind of starts light in the center and then goes out to dark. Makes it look like a very different texture to anything else. And then I just think like Fuel, Uprising, and Excelsior are just really similar. And that
yes, they're all just blue. And also I think the Gladiators just block purple. Maybe it's just because it's on Reinhardt, but it just looks really just flat.
Oh, I actually quite like it because it looks to me like I don't know. There's something like they've got they've done one treatment to their metal, you know, like and there's something kind of blocky and hard about it that I think kind of looks interesting. I think they may have. Do you think they have something to do with? They have like any form of control over the reflectiveness of the texture.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
because like I think the way that the Gladiator one looks, because that flat matte
because it's
look,
kind of matte. Yeah.
it's kind of interesting, and I think that it's a shame that some of the other teams didn't make better use of that.
But yeah, I mean, essentially Spitfire is obviously the best, but I'm completely and utterly biased on that front.
I thought I was going to dislike Spitfire. I thought I think it's interesting they didn't go for a green.
Yeah,
because
the kind of military green that Spitfires generally came in.
Exactly, but obviously because it's Cloud9 as a team, they went for the Cloud9 blue.
Yeah. Well, isn't it a combo of like, it was Cloud9 and Kongu who combined for that, and it has like some Kongu colours in there as well.
I think that was the orangey yellow.
Is it? Okay, cool. I read that somewhere. I don't really know what I'm saying. I'm just repeating shit I read off the internet to sound clever. Oh, God.
Overall, I feel like Outlaws are going to stand out well, but I just really think that...
I think Outlaws and Valiant are kind of similar though, right? Those are very near greens.
I mean, the Valiant is a lot more... I find the Valiant to be a much nicer verdant green. Like, it looks more natural.
Whereas the Outlaws has a fluoro green a bit more, right?
Exactly. It's kind of a neon green, and I really dislike neon green. I just have flashbacks to neon green scouts.
Oh, from the old TF2 days.
Yeah, from the old TF2 days.
Yeah, that's true. There's no like neon pink.
They've gone for a very bold orange with shock, and a tangerine orangey yellow with fusion.
But no fluoro pink. I'm glad we don't have any fluoro pink.
Just because you don't like it?
Well, again, it's like from my TF2 days, it just screams trash, essentially.
Oh, yeah. It's those trash talking 14-year-olds.
Yeah, Lime green and fluorescent pink scouts. Oh, God.
I do wonder if they chose the best skin for the Outlaw. I'm wondering if that combo is going to look any better on anyone else, or if it's just going to continue to look cheap and tacky to me.
Yeah, it's the block black and block grey with the green. We'll see.
I think the Shanghai Dragons, they could have gone for a more goldy yellow than the yellow than they've gone for, because at the moment May just looks like a firefighter to me.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that on the firefighter skin. Oh, we'll never actually get to see these colours on anything but the basic skins.
Yes, it's true, I assume.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. But
yeah, I imagine so.
Because they'd have to do so much like changing where the branding goes. It'd be a monstrous job for them.
It'd be horrible.
They're never going to touch that. But yeah.
I think overall the worst one, both logo and skin, is Boston Uprising though.
Yeah.
Soldier 76 looks like he's trying to be Cyclops from X-Men.
Oh God, I hadn't seen that. That's I can't unsee that. That's off. That is X-Men outfit, isn't it? The blue with the yellow. Oh God, it's X-Men. Why?
It's just so bad. It's just so bad.
Yeah, no. Okay, I can see that now. That's
yeah. So I think we should move on.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what I had. I just wanted to pick out a few of those little details. But yeah, overall, I think a lot of these are going to be really cool, and people are going to love them. I think people are going to really learn to love these teams.
I am going to buy the London Spitfire shirt when it comes out.
I am as well. I didn't think I was going to. I thought it was going to be like London Spitfires. No, I'm probably going to go for some other team where, I feel it, but actually the London Spitfires looks really cool, and they're local. I
just hope that the players don't turn out to be assholes. This is my fear with any esports. Like, oh God, what if you watch people on Twitch, and there's a lot of the really top end of Overwatch professional players who are raging cunts.
Oh yeah.
I'm just like, man, you guys are assholes. Like, I respect you're really good at the game, but couldn't you just try and rein in that, yeah.
I think one of the teams that may have a lot of nice people on it, if I've recalled their team correctly, is Dallas Fuel.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think it's Mickey, and is like that, not that import, but I think he's a Korean player, and he's just got a very positive stream. Like, he's just always having fun. Seagull's actually got quite a positive attitude.
Yeah, I think Seagull has the right mindset. That's true.
Absolutely. So I think overall Dallas Fuel, if you're looking for nice people to support, Dallas Fuel is probably a safe bet.
I'm just going to hope that Spitfire, because it's my local team, I want it to turn out. We'll see.
I'm wondering how the whole having Spitfire in London thing and then everyone else, most of the other teams in the US, is going to end up working out.
Well, I mean, part of this is they're thinking of, they want to build an esports arena in London. I mean,
yes.
I don't think it's going to be an arena. That suggests something massive. But what they're talking about is they want it to be where the team plays, where the team lives. But then they also want it to be like a drop-in place where people can come and just hang out, and there'll be esports of various varieties going on there. So if a venue like that happens in London, that would be amazing. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm so down for that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Speaking of competitive Overwatch, welcome to Season 7 of competitive Overwatch.
You've finished your placements already, haven't you?
I have finished my placements.
How did you do?
I did awfully.
Oh, no.
I had a number of games where... Okay, an example would be there was a stack of 4 in one of my games, and I shit ye not, they all took DPS. And I'm like... So, what was left was me and this other tank main. And the other tank main, who, massive shout out to them, they were willing to go Mercy because, I mean, I literally have never played a comp match with Mercy before in my life. And, yeah, just... there was a lot of that, essentially. You go into games and it's just oh, really? Really? When there's you've got 2 DPS already, the third person picks Bastion and then starts telling the other people that they should go support. And I'm like, I mean, you don't say anything because it's not going to help, but you're thinking, what world do you live on? Where is your, self-reflective thoughts and, yeah.
Yeah, the whole thing of people raging, people playing weird picks, things which aren't going to make other people comfortable to play with. Raging at other people for not playing support, and you're just there going, I'm not certain you've actually put any thought whatsoever into this situation.
Yeah. But here's the thing, right? I'm not, to put myself under my own scrutiny, I'm not going to be that person that says, oh, the reason I ranked here is because my teammates didn't do well. No, I did misplays. So I've ranked in at, I think I only won 3 of my placement matches, and I'm in at mid-diamond.
Okay,
so,
that's not too bad.
It's not like I crashed out into nothingness. But yeah, it means, in fact, I think I'm going to enjoy this season more because last season I started actually quite high into Masters and then I dropped a load and I just felt bad about it. This time I'm in Diamond. I get to do that, struggling my way into Masters and see if I can, do that thing.
Sweet. Well, I still have 26 placements to play. So
that's on 3 accounts.
Yes. Have I talked about my new account on this
Why are you
podcast?
trying to run 3 accounts? Isn't it just a massive pain in the ass?
It will be a massive pain in the ass, but, well, to be fair, my high-ranked account, which I used to call just my alt, but my high-ranked account, I'm probably just going to leave until the end of the season. Play to rank quite late in and then just juggle 2 accounts. But my new account basically is going to be an exercise. I'm going to hopefully make this into a YouTube series. Just an exercise in being positive and how it affects win rate. And that is my entire win condition for that account. I will play whatever people ask me to play. I always pick class. I will play whatever you want me to play. I'll play Reinhardt. I will play Mercy. I will play whatever. But I have to be nice to people, and that is how I win.
Why don't we take this experiment over to your entire Overwatch experience? Because honestly, I think that's the way to play Overwatch.
So I agree with the positivity thing. However, the difference is that on other accounts, I would push harder to play stuff
to play what you want to play. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's I would try to find picks which would work with the composition, but also that I like playing.
I wonder if that your positive account where you flex onto whatever the team needs is going to do better than your other accounts.
Well, I'm in an interesting place. Last season, I was doing very well towards the end because I got quite a wide hero pool. So on the one hand, it wouldn't surprise me, but on the other hand, I think I'm going to probably end up playing a bunch of stuff that I'm not that great at.
Yeah, which might be.
But if I'm not that great at it, but I'm being really supportive, I've no idea.
And if it has other people of your team on picks that they're more content with.
Yeah, exactly. I've no idea. That's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting. And also, if it does rank higher, and that, I can literally just go and show, look, I tried this out. I usually place at this rank. All I did was be nice to people, and, I played whatever they wanted me to play, and I just really supported my teams, and here's how I did. That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yeah, intriguing.
Anyway.
Yeah, so anyway, there's a webpage on playoverwatch.com talking about the new season. It doesn't really say anything that we haven't already heard.
Yeah, I think the reason that I put this in the show notes, because we did talk about it last week and we said, season 6 has ended, season 7 will begin next week sometime. There wasn't much to say there. The reason I put it in is because I think a lot of people expected there to be changes for season 7, because every other season, at the beginning of the season, they've changed some things to make the season different. So we went, season 1 to season 2, we obviously had 0 hero limits to 1 hero limit.
Tweaks about the nature of how stuff plays out. And in this one, people were expecting it didn't happen.
Yes. But I think that pretty much competitive Overwatch, in terms of how it plays out, in terms of just the hero pool, not the hero pools, but hero pool, map pool, and map rules, they've actually pretty much nailed. So I'm not surprised they haven't made changes. I think it shows that, and I think we felt it.
I think a lot of people want Wizard to wave a magic wand and get rid of salt, and they don't realize that they are the purveyors of such salt as well.
Yes.
Oh God, that reminds me of another of my placement matches where there were two other people were just arguing each other so much, right? Throughout the entire game, and one of them was completely cussing the other one out. And I tried to be like, guys, it's just a game. You don't have to and then one of them trash talked the other one so much that the other one left, and then the guy who did the trash talking that made the other one leave starts cussing the other guy about how bad he is. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't say this because it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to help. But I'm thinking, mate, if you trash talk people so much that they leave the game, that's you throwing, because you are taking an action which massively debilitates our team. Oh, people.
It's okay. It's okay. It happens to the other team as well.
Exactly. But I don't want it to happen to the other team either. I just want people to play video games and
have
be
fun.
nice. And yeah, exactly.
Would it be nice? Would it be great if we were all just nice to each other?
Isn't that what happened?
I just want to bake everybody a cake out of rainbows and unicorns.
Tell you what is nice.
Go
New
on.
Winston highlight intro. Oh, that segue.
That was a very nice segue.
So this is something which turned up on some kind of trailer footage, and it's clearly a new Winston intro.
Yeah. And it looks really good. And
he rolls, he does some lightning. Sweet.
So I'm wondering if BlizzCon is going to be the place where they start inserting stuff which is and here's where we update the stuff that's in the regular loot box.
Oh, right. Yeah, maybe.
Because, it's not an event, it's just and here's some fresh content which goes into your regular loot boxes. Enjoy. Because that'd be cool.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Cool. You should go watch the thing. We don't really have much more to say about it.
No. I'm hoping there's going to be other highlight intros and skins and bits and pieces which are added. I think the one thing that I would say is that I've really enjoyed the Halloween skins. We've got some really cool skins.
Zenyatta. Oh my God, so good.
But I'm feeling a little bit of fatigue, like other people are, of skins which are just super event oriented. And I would quite like to have some skins
just
which
more
are
solid, regular stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm down with that. Okay, so lastly, but by no means leastly, I don't understand what this even means, Grey. Tell me.
Okay, so there is a company called Faceit, and they are going to be hosting the Overwatch Open Division for Western Europe in Season 3. And the reason I put this in the show notes is Faceit have kind of been taking over and hosting a lot of tournaments.
Wait, what are Faceit?
They're a company that essentially run esports tournaments.
Okay, cool.
They've run some TF2 stuff. They run League of Legends stuff, Dota stuff. So like adding Overwatch into the roster, I think is a sign of those kind of like early stages of maturity of, okay, let's bring Overwatch into the crowd because this is something we think is going to be big and we want to own a part of it.
Yeah.
And they're doing the open division. And in Season 3, they've laxed some of the, what's the word? The requirements. So you used to have to be in Masters or above to go into the open division, and now that's contenders. Now I think you can be any rank and play open division, and it is an open division, and you and your friends can go and actually play organized competitive Overwatch against other organized competitive teams in a tournament format and have a proper competitive experience in Season 3, and it'll be hosted by Faceit, and I think that that's a cool thing for a lot of people.
Yeah. I mean, this is something from my TF2 days, which is, I remember that just participating in that kind of like team environment, even if you weren't great, was a really good experience.
Absolutely. I mean, so long as you're not against people who are like clearly of a much higher or lower skill level than you.
Even then, if you go into it with the right mindset, it's good.
Yes.
Like, I remember when we were kind of starting our Highlander team, we did a lot of scrims against a team that was much better than us. And we learned fast. It was like a really good experience. It took a lot of mental fortitude, not just to get disheartened, but every game we could be like, okay, that's what they did. This is what we did. Let's steal their strat.
Absolutely. But I think there's going to be a lot of fun for people who want to kind of sink their teeth into proper competitive, into tournament style Overwatch and not just play a ranked system. And I think, because I do think it's one of those things of those are actually very, very different experiences, because in a tournament style, you can practice strats. You can you can create compositions and create strats which you use those compositions to achieve, and that will be very, very different to this ranked experience where you essentially have to persuade your team to do something that you think will be beneficial to the team, but may not be because you haven't practiced with that team before.
Yes, entirely.
It's very, very different. I think it's going to be great.
Cool. Wow. Okay, we're just under an hour. For Micah's sake, let's call it here.
Absolutely, but that was a lot of fun. There's so much cool stuff. I'm really excited.
I know. And there's going to be more stuff in BlizzCon. I suspect next week's show is going to be pretty fat as well.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, I've been Ruskeydoo.
I've been Grey, and we'll see you next week.
Toodle pip.